What's up, guys? Chef Bugrub back again with another video, guys. I don't know if you noticed in the last video, this is actually recorded on the same day, but I got this sweet Chef Bugrub hoodie, and you guys can get this on the Chef Bugrub Shop Fourth Wall website. It's the GG hoodie. It's got the Chef Bugrub logo on the back. It's super comfortable. If you guys are interested, it's a great piece of merch. There's a lot of cool merch designs. I love wearing my own stuff. It's awesome. Today is something I want to talk about that's a little bit different. Today I want to talk about creativity and how to stay creative when you're live streaming, when you're trying to be unique, when you're trying to be different, when you're trying to stand out in the crowd. Because I think a lot of people, they sort of fall into this mediocre, mundane routine. And I don't mean that with any disrespect. I mean that a lot of people, they just hit the go live button. They don't try to do things differently. They don't try to be creative in any way, shape, or form. They just hope for the best. And, you know, some people are totally fine with that. But I think a lot of people, they want more for their live streams. They want to build a community. They want to put on fun shows that they could be proud of. And that's my first advice that I'm going to give. Put on a show, man. The bird just landed on my roof, okay? You look at any of the big streamers, right? On their come up, they were busting, grinding, they were doing big shows, they were doing big collabs, they were doing all of this stuff. And it was awesome. Nowadays, a lot of the bigger streamers, they've gotten a little bit lazier, you know, but, there's always the Kai Cenats that have millions of dollars that are going to be putting on these extravagant shows. But that's why people like those streams, right? Because they are a show. There's a story, there's a lore, there's world building that goes on in these shows. You might not have the money like Kai Cenat does, and that's totally fine. That doesn't mean that you can't build your own sort of lore, your own sort of show, your own sort of thing garners attention. It's very possible. So the biggest thing I always tell people is be unique, be genuine, be you. You know, getting compared to other people can be very debilitating at times, I think. I think a lot of people, they want to be completely original, and unfortunately, there's nothing new under the sun, and originality is few and far between. Everything is somewhat of a copy of something else, and that's just sort of the way life is. Nothing is truly original, but that doesn't mean that you can't make something your own way. And, don't worry so much about, oh, I'm copying this person, I'm doing that. If you ever see any sort of, videos online, shorts, things like that, there's a good chance that that person took that idea from somebody else, or it's just fake in general. A lot of these gaming clips that you see, a lot of them are just fake in general. They're edited down, they're edited to seem like they're more than what happened, and it is what it is. This is the world we live in. We live in a false reality, and that's okay. That's fine, but you want to still be creative. You want to be unique. So how do you stay creative? I think one of the biggest things of staying creative is to take time away from the live stream, away from the content creation, to think. And I think a lot of people with that creative mind, they do that. They spend a lot of time thinking, well, what if I do this? What if I do that? Come up with a good plan, come up with a good execution, and test it out. See if it works for you. See if it's something that you're capable of doing. Another thing is, don't go too heavy all the time, okay? I've made this mistake before, and it's very detrimental to my mindset. It's very detrimental to my time, my abilities. Do what you can manage. That's very important too. Don't go big one time and then you got for the rest of your streams for the month are just these small things. Kind of split it up in little increments, kind of try to build a little bit. That is always helpful. Rome wasn't built in a day. Consistency is one of the biggest things when it comes to being creative and things like that. And there's a lot of things that you could do also to just become better as a streamer. The first thing that I would say is make sure you have a plan for your stream. Okay, don't just go live. I used to write show notes for every show that I did until now, where I kind of have a base plan of what I'm doing. Unless I'm doing a bigger show, I'll still write show notes. Show notes are huge. Set up your show for like that 2-hour mark. Be able to hit those 2 hours and hit those 2 hours well, execute it well. I wouldn't even focus necessarily so much on like the comedy aspect of it or like the entertainment itself. Just focus on being you, talking all the time. Talking all the time is huge, especially in broadcasting. You'll never hear a radio show that has dead air, because dead air is the enemy of the audience. Okay, you do not want to have dead air. You want to be talking all the time. You want to keep the flow moving and grooving, man, because if you don't do that, people will notice, people get bored, people tune off. So always keep the momentum moving. Entertainment isn't always it. It's momentum. I watched a clip once. XQC talked about stalling and how important stalling is, building up that hype, building up the momentum. It's so important to get the results that you're looking for, because you always want to keep the audience on the edge of their seat. You want to help them. You want to make sure that they're always glued to that screen, to waiting for when you're gonna hit that mark, hit the punchline, hit whatever, so keep working at it. That's the best advice that I could give, guys. And you guys could check out the Chef Bug Show. It's an interactive cartoon show live on Kick and Twitch now. We are multi-streaming to Twitch as well as YouTube on my main channel, youtube.com/@chefbugrub. And it's awesome, man. It's been a lot of fun. The streams have been going really well. We've also been multi-streaming to TikTok, and a lot of people have been calling into the show. Right now we're doing a pizza theme, so it's like we run a pizzeria. You could call in, you can order a pizza, all of that. It's all just like cartoon goofiness. We got a TV that shows like all sorts of shows and things like that. It's a lot of fun. So let me know in the comments, what do you guys do to stay creative? What is something that sticks out in your mind on staying creative? And I appreciate you guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.